What's up? I'm Aaron Ross, and we're going to do a least moist. Least most? Least most. Oh gosh, I would redo that, but I feel like that should just be in there. Yeah, so I think I've probably filmed like actual parts that you worked on for a period of time. I don't know, it has to be over 10, I would guess. Maybe over 12. And that's not just edits, that's everything. So I've got a couple of things things that help me get to where I am, and some stuff that I feel like, could have been better. And I'm excited to watch the two of them and tell you guys about them. Oh, that spot was the best. My hometown, and it's gone. The weird part is the spot's not actually gone. They just took the island in the middle out, and so it's still there but not there. I think this line in Arizona is one of my favorites. I always was the one with the big whip down the stairs. I think like Andrew Reynolds jumped that gap, I think. But I was always bummed that I didn't bar the little trash can right there. But I'd already done a bar spin, so I didn't want to keep bar spinning, and so I just was like, we're just gonna jump it. But I did it. I think Chase was like, I'll give you whatever first try. And I actually landed it first try and then fell over. And so I had to do it again. And it was it's really a long set of stairs. But I've always loved that clip. Everyone always wants to know why I'm running. And it was because my back wheel was coming undone. And so if I pedaled, it would move forward. And so I just was like, I'll just run and get this clip, and then I'll deal with my bike afterwards. Because sometimes when you get like in the zone, you're like, I'm just on this. So for all the people who have never asked me and I've never answered it for you, I redid that clip the other day for Instagram.
What are some things about this part that make it your least favorite?
No, this is my most favorite. Oh. The Chill Bro is my most.
Okay.
Yes. I think it was the crew of dudes that, getting to go on those trips, work with Joel Moody, and it was like a re-up from the first one with the same crew of guys, like getting to work with Joel again, but like being a little bit older, having a little bit more like travel experience. Travel experience as in like knowing that you can do this and do that, and like what you're looking for in a video part. When the first video part we filmed, I was just like a kid going to spots and just filming. This one was like you were looking for things, you were doing things, and I think in the end it all came together pretty, really good. I loved the song. I'm not like a huge music guy. I'm kind of just like pick songs I think like work good and like they're poppy, and like it was just a fun video to film. And I just feel like it was like the beginning of the crazy bikes, and it was the beginning of a lot of what got me to where I am today. And so I think I really appreciate this video. I think I kind of found some of who I am bike riding wise in this video, like the way I did threes, the way I did things, the way that like I feel like the style of what I ended up doing over the last 16 years is a lot because of this video. And so I've just always loved this part, and like remember some of the trips, and like getting to like go to like this part right here. We're in Jersey riding with Bob, and just getting to ride with people that I grew up looking up to, and just I think at this point this could have been the end of BMX for me, and not knowing that it was like the beginning still, when you thought, you're just like, I didn't know what was gonna happen after this video, and getting to see the people I saw, and like, so I just always have like loved this part. I love the song, and I think this song, for a long time, everyone would come like at shop stops and meeting kids, they would always kind of be like, every damn, or they'd say, if you're gonna play in Texas. And then once this kind of came out, even last night, no joke, last night we were riding in college, and we rode up on some kids that were sitting on a spot, and the kid goes, every damn hustling. And I'm like, that's 14 years ago. And the dude literally last night, we're in California, and at a spot, a guy's like, every damn hustling. And I was like, damn, thanks, man. He's wearing an Odyssey shirt. So I just think everything fell into place for this video part. So and this clip, the ender took 4.5 hours. We started at midnight. We ended at 4:30 in the morning. Walter filmed the clip, and he was running back and forth to his big like RV, charging batteries for the lights, because we didn't have, this is a long time ago, so like lights were different. And he's running back and forth like every 12 minutes, like to get separate batteries to keep going. And I remember that clip and being like, why can't I do this? And obviously the clip was hard, But I like, when you get into that, you're 2 hours in, you start to not do as well doing it. You're like, I started to realize I was trying to ice pick to tail whip this bench, but I was only ice picking the last like 1.5 feet of the bench when I need the whole thing, but you're so in, you don't know. Finally, we stopped and like looked at the footage and we're like, dude, for the last 1.5 hours, I've been ice picking, like I'm trying to like ice tap to like tail whip. And so we like I was like, okay, I'm gonna ice the whole bench. And like within like 10 tries, I finally did it. But it was literally like midnight to 4:30 in the morning in Arizona. We just sat there. And so I think those things and like remembering those clips and like, obviously I wish I landed a little bit more pedal, but after 4.5 hours of trying it, I think I took the seat bounce and it is what it is. Can't win them all. But yeah, I love this video part, man. I think also just like being the Empire video, being Texas, being your like, some of your like guys you've looked up to, like Danny Hickerson and like people like that, and getting to go on these trips with like a crew of Texans that like really did something in BMX for a long time or for a while was pretty cool. Like we had a good crew down in Austin and we got to like travel and some of us still doing it like Chase and whatnot. So it was just like one of those things that this was your homies, but we actually in a way made it. So it was cool. That was the start of a lot of it. Like, yeah, the first Empire video was the start, but this one really was the one that like people recognize and remember and like want to talk to me about. I had a video like with some friends in my hometown. I actually talked about this a couple months ago. Like we filmed a video part. I probably had like 3.5 minutes of footage and I was young. I was 16, 17. So like, and we finished it and the whole computer crashed and the video was gone. I honestly never really got to see it completed because it died with all the footage on the computer, and like that's the one that got away. And then the first Empire video would have been the one that then led to me getting on Road Fools and stuff like that. Like Joel Moody was working with props at the time, and so he was putting a good word, and obviously Tina and Tom have a lot of pull and like said like, hey, I got some guys down in Austin and so we got to go. And that was really what launched it. And then we immediately started working on this. And then I actually did this at the exact same time as I did Grounded. And so I filmed 2 of those parts at the same time. And it was fun, man. But it was easy because no one had ever seen me ride like this. And so every spot I went to, I could just do me. And I was doing stuff that was a little different. That doesn't mean it was like better. It was just different. And so every spot you could do something, and you just kind of travel and you'd be like, oh, I could do something here. No one's ever done this. And you kind of started to like, it made it really fun to film those 2 parts. After that, it got a little harder because, people have already seen it. So like, you got to start being more creative and thinking bigger or better, this or that. And so filming these 2 parts at once was rad. And I would have said Grounded, but we didn't really get a pick whatever music you wanted. So I think that's why this one, Grounded, obviously a bigger company, a bigger brand, it gets a little tough picking music. And so it's, it's just harder to like be fully, you know what I mean? I think I had like an instrumental song for Grounded, and I would have probably picked some kooky Spice Girl song. So maybe it's better that way. But anyways, so yeah, I think, and I don't know, you might be able to confirm this. You worked for Ride at the time. I had heard rumor that I was up for, I think Ruben won video part of the year, I believe that year in 2007. I'm not sure.
You probably, if it was Grounded, probably.
I think it was Ruben, but I had heard that, and I obviously don't think I would have beat Ruben, but doing the 2 parts at once, I actually had both parts up for a video part of the year, and I think Fudger or someone said that was like, it hurt me because I had 2 parts and the votes were split. And so, but that was like something I always took as like a compliment, like the fact that I had 2 video parts and people like maybe had a hard time picking one and like they split. I always thought that was like an honor, and I took that as like, hey, at least I was in there and I had these 2 parts and whatever. So, all right, so now my least favorite, and I'll get into the details of that. It is Bad Idea, so the next Empire video. And let's watch it and I'll get into the details afterwards, because it's a complicated least favorite. All right, here we go. Oh, I ripped my arm. I actually talked about that with Brett yesterday. I ripped my arm muscle in half falling on that first clip. I feel like this part was like one of the parts that I like kind of chased down tricks across the country and across Austin, and like really put the most work into, like wanting to get, I needed this, I wanted a 5, I wanted this. We went to this spot in Boston 3 times. We drove across the country 3 times to do a Feeble 5. And the reason the first 2 times it didn't really work was because we drove across the country on a long trip and then get to Boston and you're 10 days into riding and you're beat. And I'm trying to like learn how to do this trick. And anyways, 3rd trip was a charm. We got it done. Yeah, that spot, I think it's the MLK school in Chicago. That was one of the best spots I've ever ridden. Just rails and like banks everywhere. That's here in California. I think that's a Castillo spot. I've also never worn a tank top in my life, and for some reason I think about that tank top clip all the time. Like, why do you have a tank top on? I hate it. Yeah. So what makes this part my least favorite? Let's see. It's actually probably clip-wise one of my favorite video parts I've ever put work into. I hate the song. I hate the song. I think the song was not helping the riding. I fought with Dave Perrick over that. And I want to be as respectful as I can to like his art. Like, some people love this song. Some people love the part with this song. I just don't think it fits my writing. I've never listened to rock and roll in my life. Like, I was fighting for like we talked about an NWA song. I was kind of feeling a Tupac song. And he just wasn't. And you know Dave decently well, I would guess. And he's, it didn't work out. And I ended up just giving up. I said, you do whatever you want. And so I think least favorite is because I think this part had some of the most potential to be something, and I didn't get to like make it fully mine. Still to this day, it's an ongoing joke in Empire. Monthly, I'm like, have you heard from Parrot? Can you get the footage? Because I'm still trying to re-edit this part to a song that I want. And that's never, I mean, it may never, this is we talk about this 5 times a year with Tina and Tom. On a regular, I'm like, any word, and they just laugh. Like because I think Tom's like, I email him at least once a month, and he says at this point it's a fun joke to Parrot to be like, so any word on those hard drives? Like, it is what it is.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, I mean, at this point it's not happening. But the 180 whip, I think that had been like a dream trick for a long time. So to be able to like, I think this part I clicked off a bunch of tricks that I like had on famous spots. We chased them around the country, so it just felt like, I mean, we filmed this video part for 4.5 years. Obviously some of that being they had to bring in some people to help. I think Walter at the end came in and had to like help. That spot's gone, the ice whip. Walter came in at the end and like started filming dudes, and people were bringing footage from all over the place, and I think they were editing the video up until like 10 minutes before it actually dropped, and Walter was like in there. This is actually one of my favorite things I've ever done, the double tire to switch 3. I don't remember all the details, it's been a minute, but I was there to do a couple things. Always wanted to do whip. I did whip, and then I wanted to do truck driver. I'm not that good at trucks, but I just thought I could send it a couple times and get it. And I think I was maybe leaning or something weird, and I just switched 3'd. And it was first try, and it was pretty easy. And I think all these years later, I look back, I'm like, that's probably one of the craziest things I did, not realizing in the moment what I was doing. I was just kind of doing it. So obviously, this being a least favorite is a complicated answer, because it's definitely one of my favorite video parts with some of my favorite clips I've ever filmed. But I just do not believe that it was it wasn't everything it could have been if I could have got the song and the vibe right to fit the video part. I just don't think that I fit. I mean, I think, and I get where Perrick was coming from. Like, I ride all these crazy colored bikes, like fluorescent 80s, like maybe that's some Van Halen. Yeah, like that's pretty, like, I get it. I get where he's going with it. But I just don't think it fit my riding. Like, I'm not like hauling ass, like pedaling and stuff. So yeah, it's a complicated least favorite. Tina and Tom know, so I don't feel bad that they like, we no joke, we try to get that footage on a regular basis from Perrick, and we want to re-edit it to like one of the few songs that I thought I always would have liked to ride to. It's never worked out. That's it. So that's the 2. I mean, I have some other video parts I obviously love. Grow Up was fun, and like it was a kind of a little bit of a battle to get that video part done for me. And but it has some of my favorite clips in it. And the Still Standing part I did with Dan Collar for Odyssey a couple of years ago was like, again, checking off some pretty big checklist stuff for me. But I think these two were the ones I got the least out of and the one I got the most out of. So I feel like that's what you're looking for. Yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you ever have any questions about any video parts or anything, hit me up. I'm always down to sit and chat, DM or whatever about it. I love talking to all you guys, and you know, thanks for all the support all the years, and thanks for watching all this stuff.